Tuna wageni watatu, Mheshimiwa Sebastian Kapufi mbunge, ambao ni wadau wa maendeleo kutoka Marekani. Wadau wa maendeleo kutoka Marekani, karibuni sana.
Well, shalom, salama, siemi, shalom. Greetings to all of my Israelite brothers and sisters from around the world. Whether you're of the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the house of Israel, or you're a Gentile grafted into the house under the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach, I'm welcome you all this morning because if you didn't know, in our Father's kingdom, all nations are able to come. That's word, that's Bible, that's prophecy. But until that kingdom is established, we are here in captivity, giving him the praise and the glory and the honor, and allowing and giving him praise for allowing us to see the times that we are living in. So again, this is Quest to Unite Africa Discussions Live. And this is a format to where we're understanding what's going on in the world and how that relates to the continent specifically and the diaspora. But I wanted to take this format in a different direction because we've talked about the continent and the things that's going on in the continent. We've had that discussion. We see a lot of things going on with Mali, Burkina Faso. We see things happening, especially with disaster striking Tanzania earlier this week. But let me break this thing on down for you all, family. We're about to head into World War III. I hope that didn't flag the channel or anything else, but I gotta say it. We're heading into World War III. And when I'm doing the Covenant Awakenings piece, I'll mention the prepper of Israelite origin that's north of the border. And, you know, the funny thing is, as I was listening to him this morning, he actually stated everything that I had stated yesterday. But the one stark difference in what I state and what he states is that what I state is based on the word. So there's no surprise of how this direction's going. There's no surprise in why Putin met with the Iranians and with the Arabs. Because why? Because it's in the word. It's in Obadiah. It's in Joel. It's in Zephaniah. It's in Second Esdras. It's in Psalms 83. And we had been talking about that significance for a while of what it meant. We've been talking about that significance literally since Wednesday when we first saw that news article of Putin traveling to the Middle East. Then we saw it on Tuesday when Putin was greeted, or excuse me, Thursday, yesterday, when Putin was greeted by UAE in the way that he was greeted. And we explained what that meant in this next phase of the demolition of the Western powers. See, it's not a question in for us of if. This is always a question of when the Most High is allowing these nations to move. And see, I had to think about this morning about really why did Quest to Unite Africa come about? Because it wasn't just with a handful of people, it was with all of us. Why did that come about? It came about because we understood the need of having some sort of a vehicle right now to be able to bridge the gaps between ourselves and our brothers and sisters on the continent. Ourselves is in the African diaspora, and the continent is in the African continent. We could see what was going on. We could see the signs of distress that was happening in this nation, excuse me. We could understand how the Most High was moving with these banks beginning to go under. Oh, and by the way, the banks are still going under. They're just not being said. Understand that the government on the state, local, and federal levels are running out of money. Understand that when you're running out of money, liquidity starts to crunch. Understand that job loss is about to go on. Understand that the US is already stating that this draft is about to happen sometime next year. Yes, family, this draft is about to happen. They're not going to give up on Ukraine that easily. Matter of fact, they can't. They have to go down fighting with Ukraine. And while all this is happening, we can't have an apathy to what's occurring. because literally what's occurring is going to be life and death. Oh, yes, it will be. We know who our Elohim is. So we are expecting his word to cover us, to make a way for us. But now in this season, it's going to be even harder to explain to our family, to our loved ones, to our friends what's happening and what's going on and what's about to go down. See, the thing is, when you can tell that they have begun to woke up, to awaken from their slumber, from their stupor, they're realizing, oh, it's too late. See, understand what all and how all these things were going and how this was being played. Yeah, Ninja Firewolf, I was thinking January, probably 20th or 21st. The reason being is that, once they take the Christmas tree down by Martin Luther King, then it's back to business as usual. We're here in an extraordinary time. If you would have seen this 9 months ago, if we would have been looking at this, seeing what's taken place 9 months ago, we would have been like, ain't no way. Ain't no way Venezuela's about to go into Guyana and open up another third front. That's world front. World War III front. We're in a world war. Just we've been in a world war since February 22nd of 2024. I've said that numerous times. Now you're just seeing fronts beginning to open up of active fighting. You have active fighting going on in the Middle East with the Houthis in the Red Sea and all the way up into the land there in the Eastern Mediterranean. Now it's gotten out of control, and the fronts are literally in three areas: Lebanon, Syria, Palestine, Israel. So that area is a mess. That area is a mess. And that expands literally all the way down to the Gulf of Aden, which is Bab al Mandeb, with constant ship seizures. Now ships are afraid to transit through one of the most populous transiting areas in the world. And who do you think that that's going to affect the most? You got it, the West. Nobody's asking anybody to be afraid of Russia and China. I'm not. Tell me what a Russian or Chinese has ever done to you. I'm waiting. Because the ones that try to make us fearful of what's getting ready to happen in Bible prophecy are literally the ones that brought us over here via the transatlantic slave trade. So you tell me. So, look, we just have to be honest with ourselves. They can do whatever they want to do with our platforms, with our channels, but here's the thing, the truth is going to be the truth. We just have to be honest with ourselves. They're going to hate the truth. They've always hated the truth. They're going to hate when we speak up. They've always hated when we've spoken up. But what they can't do is they can't ignore what's happening in front of their eyes on the other side of the water. They can't ignore what's happening in front of their faces. I don't care. They can get mad at me as much as they want. They can get mad at our community as much as they want. Because why? We're telling the truth. And the folks that they've been sending on out, now they're realizing now this is an interesting thing to be able to see these Ukrainians on over there scratching their heads like, oh, for real? We're about to get the Afghanistan treatment? Yeah, you're about to get that Afghanistan treatment. Well, a couple of last year we were being applauded in Congress and everybody was saying, talking about you'd get in trouble for speaking up against Ukraine and blah, blah, blah. All this. Remember, we heard that mess for the last, what, little almost 2 years? You're supporting an element that's wicked. That element is about to not work. I don't care whose side it's on. It's not going to work. The wicked is not. They won't succeed. Give me a second, Mike. Let me finish this on up.
Take your time, bro. Take your time.
So now we see that in this day and age going on right now these folks over in Ukraine are beginning to scratch their heads like, yeah, we just got set up. And now here it is. Here it is. Here's the biggest okey doke that we saw coming. We already saw this coming. Now it's if we don't support the Ukrainians, it's going to be our sons and daughters and fathers, sisters and mothers. Shoot, even expected mothers, because why? We see that on the front lines right now. It's going to be your children. That's what they try to declare over us. You have to understand the way that this system works is, if you agree with what they declare, then guess what? They win. Wrong. You have to say, I rebuke that in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, and I send that right back to the depths of hell where that thought came from. See, we can tell what's happening because why? The Most High literally gave us the cheat codes. It's called His Word. And we look at prophecy. And we don't have to take all these things and say that we're just making some salacious guess and other sorts of, things that are provocative. No. We're reading the word and we're saying, oh, yep, there it is, there it is, there it is, there it is. Because why? Because we already have the Dakota ring. We understood who the people were and have always been. Because we're getting ready to get out of our captivity. They cannot argue that. The only thing that they try to argue is, oh, that's racism, and then that's all sorts of other straw man arguments. But they can't argue that we're in captivity because they brought us into captivity. The word says that they're liars to the end. No, nobody blocked you, Miss Telia. We see you in the chat. And as we're seeing their lies unfold, all we're saying is, look, we're just standing here on the truth. That's all we had to do. That was our mission in life, to sit here and then get ready for our return, to work with our brothers and sisters, to understand who we are as a people, to get these dry bones up and going, to understand how to get breath in the life of this army that the Most High is standing up. We are that breath, plain and simple. It's the two sticks coming together, plain and simple. Nobody's going to stop it. Most High has already declared it that nobody's going to stop it. So who's going to stop it? And then we see as soon as Taiwan pops off, well, now you know that it's going to be inevitable. It's outflanked. North, south, east, and west. This place is being outflanked. Like we had said, strategically speaking, this place was always going to have to crumble under its own weight. And this is the siege happening. We're in the midst of the siege, and folks can't even understand that. Why? Because that's what the Most High had said. He has spiritually diminished their eyesight. They are groping, trying to find their way in daylight. In this very broad daylight, they can't even see what's happening right in front of their faces. And all the while, when they can't see what's happening in front of their faces, guess what? The continent that they've been so busy trying to oppress and repress and suppress, however you want to say it, they're starting to come together because why? They're starting to see what it is that they've been under. They've been under the time of silly. They've been under the time of foolishness. See, I look at this and I believe that the more that they fight, the more that the continent realizes, yeah, we just got to do this on our own. And not, we just have to do this on our own. They're going to realize we should have been doing this in the first place. That's what they're going to be saying. We should have done this in the first place. Who told us that we couldn't do this? And when they know what they're doing, and when they get confident in what they're doing, and when we're coming back and showing them the barriers that's been placed in front of them and how to remove those barriers, guess what? That place is going to take off in leaps and in bounds. And that's what the world is afraid of. That's what the nations have always been afraid of. We see World War III happening in front of our faces. And what are you going to do? Be apathetic? No. Everybody's credit card bills are going up. Because why? The banks are crashing. Because why? There's no money. Because nobody's buying anything. You're going to have more and more people being laid off. I get it. And I also understand potentially Most High willing that that doesn't happen, but I understand potentially there's going to be less and less support. But here's the awesome thing about our Heavenly Father. He'll even use our enemies to support us. Do you hear what I'm telling you? Here's how awesome our Heavenly Father is. He'll even give us favor amongst those that literally hate us, and they'll begin to support. I'm making that declaration right now. Remember, they haven't had the going getting tough. They're now getting it right now. Think about this. They know how they do things here in America. Because they're going to be the last ones to feel the effect. And when they have to feel the effect, now you know it's bad. That's just how it's been historically. They know this. It doesn't take an algorithm to figure it on out. They've done this for years, hundreds of years. Now we've just been able to articulate, yep, this is what's going to be done. But when they do it to us, look, watch, come next year, all they get is a 12-month cycle. Then come next year, it's going to be worse on them. We've said it. We understand it. Yep. Here's your 12-month cycle. It's going to start getting worse. Oh, hey, we had to lay folks off and, you're the first one. Why? Man, you know why. Good luck to you. When I received that in April, I said, yeah, they don't have much time left. And really, they were trying their best to say that they had this, they had that they were doing this, that they were doing that. Yeah, they were really trying. But the problem that they ran into is that the Most High's word doesn't come back void. It never does. And I can personally attest to how awesome the Most High is. Because it wasn't the fact that I was losing something. It was matter of fact, I was actually gaining something of his that he put me in. He put me in. Because why? Because we're getting ready to see this place fall on its knees. And the word says that when this place falls, it will never rise again. It's going to fall on its knees. And guess what? It's going into servitude to them folks, them other folks. That's why they're so scared. They're so afraid. They know where they're going to. This is why now all these Gentiles are dreaming dreams. And honestly, I believe that they're dreaming dreams because the Most High is now allowing them to see what's happening. Now you understand when that pressure is busted, them pipes. Now they have to ask the question, Father, why is this happening? See, you have to understand their perspective. They see what's going on, but the moment that they have to ask the Most High what's happening, and they are truly sincere about what is literally happening, guess what? The Most High is going to show them. And they'll present their dream, their little interpretation. No, no, no. those that are actually sincere and don't diminish anything that the Most High says, they're the ones that's actually telling the truth about these dreams. They're the ones that's actually understanding. You know, the last thing that they're going to start to say, because it's being pried out of them, because you want to know why? Because the shores will be threatened. Make no mistake about it, family. Europe was never really that strong without the United States. And now that they see the diminished capacity of the United States, for real, the diminished capacity, guess what Europe is going to do? They're going to say, there you go. See, what people don't understand, where this word literally is showing how things are going, when they're reading Daniel, when they're reading Revelations, when they're reading Jeremiah, we've been stating this for years. We've been stating this for years. Now we don't even have to go back to the scriptures. Now we can say, look at what's happening. Look at them images that they're showing you. That's coming to a doorstep near you. Well, they can't leave us alone, because here's the thing. The Most High has allowed them to do this straight into the very end. No, leaving us alone is too easy. That's not their job. You have to respect their job. That is their job. That is our captivity. You can't be in the middle of your butt whoop and realize that you're getting your butt whooped and be like, Father, can you just stop my butt whooping? Did you learn your lesson? No, not really. But it just hurts. No, no, no. You have to learn the whole lesson. See, our butt whooping is going to be so great that we will never ever think about anything else. You just got to enjoy the beating. See, what it was, see, you were getting beat, but you didn't even realize you're getting beat. Now that you're awake and you're getting beat because they don't beat you out your sleep, guess what? No, there's a time that they're allowed. This is just the last minutes of our beating in the over 400 years that we've been beat. So you think that they're going to stop now? No. We have to go through the fullness of this beating so we can tell our children and our children's children. This is how the Most High allowed us to survive. Remember, literally, the word says that what? He gave them power to do what? To wear out the saints. We got to get worn out. Because why? Even though we're feeling the beating, guess what? Not all of our families feeling that beating. We have to get worn out because we have to start to cry to our Heavenly Father. It has to happen. Sorry. I'm not here to sell good news. I'm not here to do feel goods. That's not my channel. I don't do feel goods. Oh, it's going to be better. Oh, it's going to do this. Oh, you know, no, I don't do that. I don't have to go up an octave to try to, you know. caress any feelings. Sorry, that ain't me. That cry out loud and spare not, yeah, that's me. That cry loud and spare not, that's me. Because why? Because now folks understood why I was crying, what I was saying. I could see that from the military perspective. I could see that. I could see this is where we're going. This is where we're jumping into. This is where we're moving into. This is the cliff we're about to follow over. That's what I've been saying on this channel since 2020. See, I knew my channel wasn't going to be a long standing series. This was not going to be a Simpsons or Young and the Restless. This was going to be for this time, for this season. And now we're seeing this season coming up. That season is approaching. Well, you know, it'll get better. What did they say? All right. Brother Mike, shalom.
Shalom, brother. How you doing?
I had to come on in here and sprinkle some hot sauce on some of these chicken wings and start getting to work. You know what I'm saying? When you sprinkle that hot sauce on the chicken wings, you gotta get to work. Cause why? Because when you come up for breath, what ends up happening? You feel that heat on your lips and tongue.
Yeah. Mm. Hey, it's just like when we was we was on our way to Dar, and we pulled them, got that chicken and everything. You got a hold of those hot peppers.
Oh no. Yeah, those are them ghost habanero peppers. I really don't like to eat spicy things, but I'm gonna tell you that kept me right for those next 6 hours. I think everybody, you know what I'm saying? That kept everybody right for them 6 hours. You didn't
Yeah,
hardly want to move.
Mm.
But
I
Mike,
tell you. Mm-hmm.
remember what just happened? What was it last month, right? Was she coming here to the United States?
Uh-huh.
Remember what we said? We said it's going to get worse now.
Karis, this is a brace yourself moment. That's what it boils down to being. If you thinking your cell phone is going to go out, yes. If you thinking there may be an EMP blast, yes. All of those things that we thought, those are now more so close to reality.
Yes.
And what you're saying to the brothers and sisters, what you're saying to them, this is a brace yourself moment. There's no going back. 2019, that right there was a stopping point. The gates was put up. You was not going to go back to 2018, 17. No, those days are gone. They're not coming back. Put this tombstone on it. 2019, headstone. Ain't no coming back to that.
Mm-mm.
This is a brace yourself moment. And just like what you said, we gonna have to call out to Yah. We gonna be forced to call out to Yah. This is what he's bringing this stuff about. In order for us to call out, and unfortunately, when he say he want us to call out, we're talking about our family members that are still Baptists, Christians, or whatever the religions may be. if they're not in his word according to his will, they are outside of his will.
Mm-hmm.
In order for them to see what's going on, they got to go through these. I mean, what me and you talk about and the brothers and sisters on this on your show, they know, but we only just a handful.
Mm-hmm.
We're only a handful, and truthfully, I pray to y'all. I mean, it's not saying I want to pacify ourselves because we never had anything. Nothing.
Wait,
Never.
and
I'm
Mike,
sorry.
and Mike, remember, that Mike never pacifies a grown man or a grown woman. All right, go ahead, Mike. Sorry, I had to say that.
But I mean, bruh, we never had anything easy for us. Never. Everything for every president that has came and served for this country, not one did anything for black people. We just take it and we move on. We make the best of it. And that's what we did. But it was in preparedness for this. For this, what we're about to go through. All this stuff. Yeah, we you know, you got some educated black people out there. You do. And you got some wealthy black people out there. And I'm saying brothers and sisters with degrees who got an eviction notice. They said they can't find a job. They can't. I'm talking about brothers and sisters that make 200 to 300,000 a year. They can't. They're not. They can't. The job market is messed up.
Mm-hmm.
It's by their designs. But Yah said He's going to put it into their hearts to carry out His thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
They carrying it out. This is about a brace yourself moment. This is where we at. You keep telling the brothers and sisters, this is what the scripture said, this is what the scripture say. And these are the things that's happening. Now, and it's not that I know you, Yacoba, this is not to sit up here and scare nobody. But it is to brace yourself and to find out where your faith is laying at. That's what this is about. It's about where your faith is lying. You know, Yacoba went through that. What is that thing? He went through that for a few months. When you're talking about flee Babylon, whether it's you got to do it physically, and a lot of even Hebrews did not agree with that. He took some flack for that. I mean, man, I seriously believe that brother was stressed from all of that. But he kept on. He held his ground.
Yep, he sure did.
Did he not?
he did, because remember, it was like, why would I need to do anything like that? Listen, the folks in the community, oh man, you still see those videos up now. I think some of the folks took it down now, because it's like, oh, you really want to stay in a land that's actually dying? You really want to stay in a land that's literally we all know what's coming. We all understand that these food shortages are about to be really real in the next few months.
Yeah.
We know. We see this thing. We see it happening because what? It's not that we're just trying to declare things so we could be, fear mongers and things of that nature. No, it's because it's the Most High. His word is going forth. Whether we like it or not, whether we're comfortable with it or not. Well, Father, I'm not really comfortable with it. No, He's going to do something. Trust me. We're not going to just be on out there all messed up and destitute. No, No, matter of fact, that's why I believe this thing is going to kick off because why? Because all the plans that they have for us to just try to dishevel us and get us on out of here, what happens when when things happen during war? Nah, everybody just stays in they stay where they're at. You're just staying in place.
Hmm.
That's what happens when you are literally in war. You're not going on out there in the streets. You're getting what you need to get. You're getting given to you what you have given to you, and you're sitting your behind down somewhere to when you're able to up and move when the word goes on out. That's the thing that I see. When that white lady the other day, what that Teo had played.
Hey, it was on yesterday.
No, I think it was no, it was on her channel. Someone had it on her
All right.
channel. It was either post. I don't know if he brought that on up the other day. Well, that white lady was talking about the blue helmets.
All right.
Now,
Yeah, yeah.
now I want us to really understand the significance of the blue helmets because I want us to really break this on down with that Article 99.
Mm.
And I want us to understand what that actually means when it comes to prophecy. And see, you have to understand prophecy comes about because people think that the plans and the schemes and the devices of that isn't what the Most High has designed for it. Do you see what I'm saying? What man thought that they could use for the blue helmets? Because the blue helmets were really just where at in Africa doing what? Just suppressing Africa and just pillaging under the guise of international peacekeeping. Now, think about this, family. Think about that
All right. Be
activation
safe out there, man.
that the UN was trying to say. I looked at it as Article 99. The question is Article 99. Who is that going to be for? Is it going to be for us or them?
Now, Karis, can you explain 99?
Okay, let me get this on out here. I'm going to do this. Let me bring this on up, family, so I can actually show you all this. Okay. Let me share this screen. Sorry, family. Let me share this screen because this is something that's very significant. Because you got to remember, the whole world now works on shadowy talk. Fair use. This is from literally the Codification Division Publications of the United Nations, Repertory of Practice of United Nations Organs, Charter of the United Nations, Chapter 15, the Secretariat, Article 99. Article 99 states the Secretary General may bring to the attention of the Security Council any matter which, in his opinion, may threaten the maintenance of international peace and security. So now you have to understand what he's talking about and what does that do in terms of far reaching implications. See, we got to go in here, family. We got to go in with this, family. We have to go through this because we have to understand what's getting ready to come in on our doorsteps. No, we're not talking about U.S. This is the UN. This is United Nations. To what? To bring the Security Council, because the Security Council, in my opinion, they're going to bring this on up there and it's going to fall flat. And then these nations, in my opinion, this is what I see happen. This is just my opinion. They're going to get divided over this. That division is going to happen. And see, you can't just ignore one part and then, look at the other. No, 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 no. See, this is why they don't like us very much, because they know, well, at the heart of this matter is the scene of the crime that's over there in the United States. And those are the people that we need to deal with first. Do you see what the setup is, family? This setup is, to me, it's quite obvious that, they don't want to talk about this thing that's quite obvious. It's like, it's so obvious that even my son could spell this song out. My 11-year-old could actually articulate this. These people are fighting over here because they don't want to tell you what's going on over there. Oh yeah, the UN is in the United States. Oh yeah, absolutely. However, their forces are worldwide. And some can speculate that those that are there at the border are already amassed to provide quote unquote stability operations. Because what would that look like if the world, or not if, but when the world says, the biggest threat to this world order is the United States? And then they draft a security resolution, and then they go on from what? Drafting articles of charges against the United States for human rights. Do you understand? This setup was already a setup back in 2016, 2017. Now we're about to get to the actual physical portion of the matter. When you know that something is getting ready to go down, what do? You get all your stuff, you get everything that you can out of the place that's on fire. When you smell the smoke, you do what? You can either try to fight the fire or you can try to get up on out of there, because you know that fire is going to be way too big. And that's what we've seen in these last couple of years. Folks that have the means, they're getting up on out of here.
Yep. You know, this place is a dead stick.
It's incredible. I mean, it's incredible to actually see this, to actually witness this. I didn't think I'd ever witness this. If you told me this 10, 15, 20 years ago, I said you have to be smoking you have to be on the best drugs ever. You must be on some flocka or whatever, because you've just lost your mind. Now folks are seeing this and they're like, well, that's the worst case scenario. No, that's the Bible scenario. That's the word scenario. See what these people here that are talking, they're talking because they don't really understand what's happening, and they're just talking in circles because they're talking without a standard. Well, it's the worst case scenario. No, this is actually what the word says. Well, oh, it is? Yeah, it is. And then you can just go the play by play by play by play by play. Yep, there's those Carmanians right there. Yep, there are those dragons of Arabia right there. Yep, there are them nations is getting ready to betray this whore. Yep, it's right there. It's not worst case scenario, it's prophecy. Because why? Because in this time, guess what? You see that our people, at this time that this stuff is happening, what's our people doing? We're coming back together. Because why? Because the Most High is in the midst of his people. He's doing what? He's listening to our people. He's listening to our cries. He's listening to our petitions. Well, how did that happen over there? Well, it happened over there because these folks are supplying this, and folks are supplying that, and we can't even address this until we address that, and that's doing all of this. Oh, it's about to go down. X marks the spot. Yeah, it's about to go down.
Okay,
And
you
what are they
talking
going
about?
to
I'm
do?
sorry.
And what are they going to do? Oh, well, it's not a big deal. They're just coming on in here to do what? What's their most favorite keywords and phraseology? Well, they're just here to establish law and order. Because why? Yeah, things have been pretty out of control. You got to understand, I look at it like this. It's for them when they see that, for a lot of their people, it's going to be a welcome sight. Yeah, we knew we were out of control. I mean, people are losing jobs, they're losing money, it's this and that. Yeah, this has just been out of control. Hey, we're here. Everybody needs a little bit of help. All nations go through this, but we're going to try to get you back on track and, and get you to where you need to be as a great nation again. Oh, yes. I'm telling you, I can write this script verbatim. During the next couple of weeks, we're trying to ensure that we have, what we need to have to be able to bring America back to its proper standing in place.
Mhm.
And be able to have it to where it's the most uh, uh, equitable and free society ever. Right? They'll say, we need your help to make this happen. They'll have it on the TV screens. They'll have it there. You know, they'll have another little campaign. Reinstituting the dream or dream restart or something like that. They'll do that for about 3 or 4 months, and then they'll come through and they'll just ravish the place. Because why? They'll have a phase. I'm telling you, I used to just be in awe of how the Most High would just like let me see things, and I'd be like, "Yes, Father, I see that. Oh my goodness, I see that. Yep, I look at. Oh my goodness. Hey, we brought in food rations. Everybody's eating. Everybody's good. Please ensure that if you're meeting with places, that you don't have this and that and that and this. Because why? It's going to be dissension. It's a natural thing. Well, these folks are going to be here. They're going to be here for no good. And then you're going to have folks on the radio and everything else. Oh, conspiracies will start flying at a all-time high. They're here to take everything over. We're going to go into captivity. See, imagine how much of a biblical scholars these folks will become
Oh, in an instant.
in
In
an
an
instant.
instant.
In an instant.
Mm.
They'll be calling Teo, talking about Teo. What is Jacoba and Teo? What are the time frames? We see
Yes.
in your channel. We know that they're lying. How much longer do we have?
Mm-hmm. In an instant.
Teo would be like, "Look, I don't know," and Jacoba would be like, Pound ain't no such thing as a pound, no such thing as a 400-year prophecy, pound. Ain't no 400-year prophecy. Everything's good. Just trust the system. What do I say? Trust the process. Everything's good in my opinion. Man, black folks, I think we just gonna be smiling because we already know. Yeah, we know what's gonna happen to them. We're gonna be around the trees, slapping our hands together, rubbing our hands together, like, yeah, when this thing goes down, ooh. We're
Yeah.
gonna be asking Mike, every black person is gonna be asking in their rations for some Orville Redenbacher. Extra butter, please, because this is gonna be finger licking good.
Man, I can just see everybody. They go, and you know what? Truthfully, if I can pull up a GPS on all the major players, the billionaires, even high millionaires, I bet you they're not here in the United States.
Mm-mm.
I bet you they're not here in the United States. And that right there is a telltale sign. And yeah, I seriously believe that's going to happen with all of these YouTubers out here, brothers and sisters that's out here saying what they're saying from the scriptures and things. Oh yeah, because Yah said those in power will be taken. Those in position will be least in position, and the one that are least thought of is the one who will be taking the lead. Yah is not a liar. That's one thing he's not. He will never be made to be a liar.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, you may see Teo ministry. You may see Covenant Awakening, Sister Sister E or whatever. Take off. And everybody is looking for answers from these people. Because now, let's not get it twisted. They're on your show right now, listening to you.
Mm-hmm.
And they hearing you. And they tune in just like they tuning in on a TV. They listening. They looking at what's going on in the world. They listening to what the news say, and they're listening to you. Well, he's saying this here now. He's saying that this here, and all of a sudden, this dude come this way. Because hey, let's not get it misconstrued. Yah said he does not do anything unless he has warned his servants, the prophets. And see, I know we scared of putting labels on ourselves. But right now, his prophets are Negroes. And then you got some Gentiles who having some dreams and think, hey, we're having this type of dream. He said he said all flesh is going to have this dream. Not just Hebrews, but all flesh. And they having them. But to understand the scriptures, Yah is dealing with his people. That's who he's dealing with. Now, they can shut the internet off. Or not the internet, YouTube or whatever. This is the danger. They will shoot themselves in the foot. Now they don't have this synapses.
They don't have their primary form of distraction. If they shut off the internet, I'm going to tell you that wouldn't happen. I literally believe they'll be like, we have, all internet services that have like the news that we give you and, gaming services, right? So for your your PS5s, your Xboxes, your all the other gaming platforms. Oh no, those services will still be good.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube or not probably they'll probably limit content more on YouTube. I know this channel will be gone and many others. That's just a fact.
I think they'll shoot themselves in the foot. Did that happen, Karis? I seriously believe that.
Nah, I'm pretty sure because you gotta remember you gotta the content has to be content has to be done in a manner that promotes the propaganda that they're trying to utilize. That's literally information operations 101. So they'll give you the entertainment, right? Just like, Netflix released World War II, right? Because they want to try to energize this generation, right? And who's that? The men and women. So, hey, this is what my grandfather did, and this and that. They're trying to energize them to, fight this war because, right? Why? The recruitment's at an all-time low. The recruitment is terrible
Yeah,
because
my
if it doesn't pick up, and it won't,
no.
they can't fight these wars. That's the whole thing. They'll do exercises, but they'll say, okay, well, for Guyana, for example, right? The U.S. is doing exercises. That exercise is not a war function. And here's the thing: the exercise, who's there? You see what I'm saying? Like, you have to understand what the wordplay is. Oh, you do exercises. Okay. So who's even there in the exercise? They won't disclose. Well, we only sent like 20 people and we're doing exercises with Guyana with 20 people. Oh, that's nothing. All right, let's go. You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
Because I guarantee you, for as Venezuelans, that's what they're trying to do to actively understand what it is that they'll have to contend with. How many U.S. forces are there? Oh shoot, less than 200 people. Nah, we're good. Let's roll up on in there. They're doing their collection right now. Oh, that's it. That's all they have. All right, we're good. Because then they'll say, well, we're not there. We're there as, military advisors. As military advisors. We're helping you to support as military advisors. I guarantee you that's what's going to end up happening. That's what I see. And then, oh, well, sorry. We tried to help. We have all these things going on and we have to weigh, our pros and cons. Right? That's what they'll say. We have these operational risk assessments and other things that's going on. Let me tell you what that really does, family, because here is now what is getting ready to spring up. And we said this earlier. We alluded to this earlier this week. What that does for the Caribbean. Because let me tell you, if Venezuela's going in, Venezuela ain't going in just by themselves. They're coming in hot with some backup. And I'm going to tell you that backup's probably in the form of some either Iranians, Chinese, and probably Russians. They ain't doing it. They're not going in with just themselves. I guarantee you. But also, I believe that this is another big strategic importance because now you have a southern front developing in the U.S. You'll have a southern front developing. I want it, Brother Mike. I want us to touch on this article I have in front of us. Let me get to this right here. I already have it presented. I'll drop the link in the chat so you all can see. My bad. I'll drop that link and I'll drop the UN links. You all know what the sources I was coming from. I like to provide sources. Sorry, I will not put those sources in APA 7 detail. That ain't going to happen.
Oh,
So I'll drop the sources in the chat. This is coming from GBN News. Shout out to brother Asaph. Brother Asaph shared this article with me earlier. And this one, yes, this one caught my eye. This is something that is definitely a well. From GBN News, Barbados wants 2 trillion pounds in reparations. 2 trillion pounds of reparations. Someone in the chat, please provide how much that is in USD.
I thought that was USD.
No, that's pounds.
Wow.
And hence, UK is ready to cave demands. Ooh, cave to demands. Uh-oh. And hence, UK is ready to cave to demands. So if you know UK is getting ready to cave to demands, what do you think is happening here in the US? The Prime Minister of Barbados said the country is owed trillions by slave-owning nations, including the UK. Mia Motley said Barbados was owed $4.9 trillion. Okay, so it gives us that $4.9 trillion by slave-owning nations. Ooh, 4.9 trillion.
Man, but Kerry, you talking about the four corners of this earth.
Yes. Now
I mean,
you know I'm going with this, Mike. You know I'm going with this. Yeah, you know I'm going with this. Yes, the article is only 22, 23 hours ago. Yes, I'm telling.
I know the Gentiles hearing this. I know they're hearing this, and I know they got to know this. This is serious.
Let me restate this. Mia Motley said Barbados was owed 4.9 trillion by slave-owning nations. This isn't just the UK. So imagine you have 4.9 trillion by slave-owning nations for Barbados. Let's take a look at this. If the article addresses it, and I don't think it does. It was kind of a really weak article. Because if you had an article like that, you would want to punch that up with some statistics and figures. So let's just put on in here population of Barbados. I want our folks to understand what it is so we can get a simple math calculation up in here. All right, I'm here in Google. Let me share my screen. Google says that in 2022, Barbados was owed the population of Barbados in 2022 was 281,635 souls. All right, now. Let me get back to this article. She said, she done said that they owe $4.9 trillion. 4.9 T. Not B, but that's the T. You heard me? Man, let let me scratch down some of these numbers right here.
That's what I'm waiting for you to do, to break down the numbers.
I break these numbers down. How many? Let me do 4.9. So 4 and 9 trillion, not 9 trillion, 4.9 trillion. That's 9 billion. Okay, billion. Okay. All right. So for the sake of numbers, sake of the argument here, I'm gonna slash off a million. I'm gonna slash off a million just so my calculator can calculate that real quick. So 4 million millions, literally that's 4 million millions, divided by 281,635. Okay. So that's at 17.39. Okay. 17.39. That's what I get. 17.39. So now I take that 17.39 and then I times it by, you guessed it, a million. And that's 17,398,405.70. And they want their cents. Wait a second now. So let me kind of go back into this and let's use this as a standard, as a gauge, right? Because what she just did was she literally used the standard. She literally used that gauge. She came on out. She was bold with it. Let me tell you this. She was bold with it. I'm gonna say, just for all of our troubles as Black folks in the United States, I'm gonna say we're owed 25 million. But at our population, they don't really want to give us our population. So I'm just gonna say,
With the low end, where I think they saw when we was like 50 million African Americans.
I'm saying 60. I think we're
All
about
right.
60.
All right.
So 60. Let me just do this. So 60, and we're coming out with the times 25 million. I gotta do this calculation here. All right, let me do this calculation. So we're at 150. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, I think that's about right. Yep, that's about right.
How much is it?
That's about $150 trillion
For the U.S.? I mean, for us? I mean, for African Americans?
for African Americans. That's 60 million Black folks at 25 million apiece. They know that we're owed 150 trillion. Actually, and that's a low end. That really is actually a low end. Believe it or not.
I was thinking that's like a low end too.
Yeah, we're actually owed a little bit. Well, not a little bit. We're actually owed a whole lot more. It was my estimates a couple of years ago. I think we're probably at about like 500 million for each Black person. It's actually like literally $500 million. So we would literally come through as literal more than our weight in gold.
So
What does AI say? Yeah, that's a good question for AI. How much money are descendants of African Americans owed in reparations? I guarantee you they took that feature out of AI. But if you try, That would be a good one.
Somebody in the chat can do it, ain't no telling. But when it's all over said and done, the biggest. Now I need to put my money in Africa. It seems like Africa is going to be the richest country in the world because of us.
We're gonna get the numbers from DVZXL. All right, thank you, DVZXL. I try to make these chats interactive.
I mean, but can you look at that, bro? Can you see that? Now, with this World War thing going about to pop off, and then our people is asking for reparations in this country in which we living in. It's going to be made uncomfortable. It's going to be made uncomfortable. It's going to be made to be unlivable.
Yeah.
You're going to be forced to go back.
Yeah, you know how ignorant our people are going to be. Like, man, you want this dollar bill? You need to carry me on your shoulders, and we just going to dangle $100 bill with a stick and a string. Like, go get it. You know our people are going to be real ignorant. Come on now.
Yeah, rub my corns. Yeah.
You know how many LinkedIn jobs will be? I need a toothbrusher. Make sure you watch.
Oh, you thought like Eddie Murphy coming to America.
Now accepting positions for rose petal throwers. Oh my goodness.
But it seemed like the strongest dollar in the very near future is going to be on the continent where we're from. Yah said he's going to bring his people back together. And you thinking this is not Yah's doing? I mean, reparations? You think these people just waking up one day and say, you know what, I'm going to have to go in before the Senate and all this. We want reparations for how y'all treated us and y'all done us on the four corners of the earth? They go get it don't even make sense around here worrying about if we're going to get it. If it's not even in the equation. It's not in the equation. It's when.
Look at what Static State of Mind said. We could have flipped that and fixed the economy. LOL. We would have healed.
Ain't that crazy?
Do you know what? Nah, AI's lying on those numbers.
What was the numbers?
It also adds AI about interest. Yeah, you need to ask AI about the interest. Nah, it's more than just 5.9 to 14 trillion. Nah, because see, the benchmark was really set by Barbados, and you know that our economy was way much more robust than Barbados. So that's a lie. No, that's a lie. I mean, truthfully speaking, I think supposedly United States is, I think that they're probably like, quadrillions. So truthfully speaking, probably each American is probably worth a couple $1 billion. I would say each African American is probably worth a couple $1 billion. If we really wanted to like get to the meat and the potatoes of this, each African American is probably worth a couple of trillion, or excuse me, a couple of billion. And yeah, no amount of money actually is going to repair this. That's
right. I mean, yeah, I mean that's true. I mean, because Yah said he's the only one who can heal his people. He already stated that. So the money, yeah, yes. The money is to just, are you going back to this continent and now the United States used to be the strongest, the dollar. And all over that, it seems like it's going to be overnight. that all of this reparations, because like man, I was talking to Jacob, I was like, man, out of the hundreds and even thousands of years, the Gentile has a mass amount of gold. Whether it's by thievery, 90% of it was by thievery, and it's still there. It's not like if they sit there and talking about, oh no, we don't have that type of money. All you got to do is go back in history. That's where the money is gonna be at. You go tell me you don't have this here. Oh man, please. Mm-mm. And they knowing this, they seeing this, and they scared of this. That's what they seeing. They literally are witnessing the change of power. That's it. I know that they said that they say you make money in war. This is going to be a different one. I seriously believe this is going to be a different type of war. I don't see them making money off of this. I see a whole lot more death in this war. Man, Karis, my son just turned 18 today. You know, and I'm like, shucks, man. I mean, then they talking about this stuff here that
tell your son happy birthday, and that reminds me, yeah, Sister Shonda's youngest, Zion, turned 1 today. So
okay.
We both have sons on the same birthday.
Man, congratulations, I tell you. Man, I mean, we're witnessing some things, man. We are witnessing some things. And I never would have thought 10 years ago, 20 years ago, that 2019 would be pivotal. Never. I just had a strong desire, man. I never forget it, to go to Africa. And I started doing research online and everything. That's when I seen the 2019 and all that. And now I understand. Now I understand. Along with a lot of other brothers and sisters, they saying this too. And like with the little Gentile lady that said that young black people are a threat to Israel. Hey, Karis, I was talking to brother Kevin yesterday. They asking the NFL to take a knee for Israel. Karis fall off?
No, I'm here.
Oh, all right.
Now, you know what?
Oh,
if they do that,
right.
Listen, that should be. I'm not. Black people know how we know how we feel about that one.
But let me ask you something though.
I'll defer that to Dr. Umar.
You're right.
Rick Nasheed.
Yeah, you're right.
I'll let them look. They'll speak personally for me.
Yeah, you're right. Most definitely will. Wow. It's happening. And this is a brace yourself moment. And my son just walked out and going to school. I'm like, man, take care of yourself. Be safe out there. I mean, because you don't know what might not pop off. You got people around here. There was a guy who went and killed some people or whatever because he didn't get a job. That's the small portion of it. That's a small portion of it. It's starting. And I see they was talking about Biden asking Congress for billions of dollars, like you was talking about NATO. But let me ask you something. So if Russia went into NATO, do you think Russia will win? You know?
Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
Russia will go into NATO, but it's not the fact that Russia will go into NATO. It's the fact that the triggering event for Russia going into NATO means that you'll have a full-scale war in the Middle East occurring. You'll have Taiwan jumping off with China occurring, and then you'll also will have you have Armenia. That's a fact. Armenia and Azerbaijan, that'll occur. You'll have a couple NATO countries literally pulling out because it'll be too much. You got to remember, Europe will be shut off from all the Chinese goods. The goods are made in China, and Europe relies on that. So they'll capitulate.
I mean, but why would China cut off Europe though? I mean,
strategically because Russia and China are together.
All right, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
that's a big one. So look, this is an all of a sudden type of moment, and this all of a sudden moments, you got to remember a lot of folks aren't really understanding that this is like 5D, 6D chess, and that's how this thing is coming from all angles. So, we'll see how that goes.
Man, I think it's going to. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if something happened before Christmas or on Christmas, just to be showing their hatred to this country. It was like Merry Christmas, and it is really going to be in a condescending way. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised. And so, I mean, just looking at the stuff that's going on, and they really, truly thinking this is not a movie. And this is one thing, I would say this to anybody, even Hebrews, more so to Gentiles, because when they look at the movie, they always end up on top, always winning, always conquering. This is a whole different ball game. This is a prophetic situation that we are in now. This is not World War I. This is not World War II. This is the claim and the retribution from 1619 going back to 70 CE. If they really want to look at it like that, this is what it boils down to. I mean, God said he's going to judge the nations. And that's a lot of nations out there now. There's a lot of nations out there. And this situation in which we're in now, like you said earlier, it's going to make us, it's going to force us to call out to Yah. It is. And this is not no fear tactic. This is biblical. And it's not a tactic. It's just, Yah said, call out to me. These things we got to be in an uncomfortable position, because we've been spoiled. We've been spoiled here. We got running water, and then we got a filtration that comes from the city that said it's filtrating the water. You got cooking gas. They ain't got propane like they got in Africa on their stoves. They got a propane tank sitting beside, or usually, if for the ones that has money, their propane is outside the house, but they got a tube that leads to the kitchen stove to cook their food. They don't have underground piping for cooking gas. This is how they do it. And if majority of the brothers and sisters there do not have a stove, they cook on top of the propane. See, these are the things that we call luxuries. or we say, well, I can't live like that. We been spoiled. Don't say what you can't do. It's more like what you don't want to do. Because when you've been put in the position to do these things, trust and believe, either you're going to use get you some wood and cook you some food, or you're going to starve, or you're going to continue to complain, and your complaints eventually is going to take your life. These are the things that we have to have a lot more forethought on. We can't say what we can't do or what we can't live with, what we can't. The more you tell yourself that, the more your body and your mind believe that stuff. And I learned that from Sister Shar. You got to push your heart and your mind into Yah's hands. He said, always trust in him. It may not be what the United States have given us for the hundreds of years we have been here. And truthfully, it could come off as a good thing because we're used to it. That's what we're used to. We get sick, we go to the doctor, and the doctor give us some type of pill. You know, there are some good points about this country, but overall, it outweighs the evil. I'm sorry, it does not outweigh the evil.
Well, but Mike, also,
Mhm.
I think we get too caught up on this.
Mm-hmm.
Think about all the inventions that we created.
Oh, Carrie, you about to take it down the whole road, right? Oh man, no.
I'm like,
Wow.
When people would say, well, it's this and that, man. Okay, half the stuff in the kitchen we created. We created the piping. We created the plumbing. So what, is that a bad thing because we created stuff like that? Well, you know what? We created in captivity. It's terrible. No, we had to learn how to innovate, and we innovated.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that they profited off of what we innovated.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that it's wicked. It just means that we innovated, and they just turn it into whatever they turn it into.
No, I didn't want to come off that way now because I was thinking about the black inventions because man, that's a little sister in Nigeria, man. They figured out how to use urine to run a generator.
So you're gonna call it they're gonna call it the urinator.
I'm done. Only you.
Hey, we need some electricity. Yeah, just pee on it. You good? Just pee on it.
Man, you're wrong. You're wrong. But I mean, it's because I do recognize that majority of the inventions come from my people, and that was just the starting point to where we're about to go into in the very near future. But not saying that. I mean, I don't know whether this is going to turn around that quick. While our brothers and sisters, I mean, ain't no telling. But when you got your people together and you got minds working together, I can't say it's not going to happen overnight, and I cannot say it's going to take years.
Let me kind of tell you all this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you all this. We live in a place where we are literally constrained. And they literally tell us not to get our creative juices flowing. We have literally been demonized as a people to not have our creative juices flowing. Think about it when you are a child and you're doing all of these imaginative games and you just do these games out of nowhere. I would look at my kids when they would be playing. Oh boy, here comes Sister Shar. Sister Shar, when you come on here, we're not doing any of them hustles that you were. We're not talking about what you just. Do not talk about that Asian stuff we brought up yesterday. That's all I'm telling you. We're not talking. Not now. You gonna shut us down? I'm trying to make a great point, and I'll get to you, Sister Shaw. When I would see my kids play with other kids, like in preschool and things of that nature, they would be like playing their own little games. They would be coming up with their own little game. I'm going to tell you this. My mother-in-law, when she was alive, I used to help her with her daycare. And I would see the children, the toddlers, but it was always the black kids, our Israelite, our Hebrew kids. They wouldn't even care about the instructions on the box. They would just take that toy and just do whatever. They take those pieces and just do whatever. And they make that thing happen. They work that thing. And I'm not gonna I'm not picking on white people here. But it was always the white children that would say, and they would always try to snatch the toy out of the black, the Hebrew child's hand. And they said, no, you're not playing it with it like this. They wouldn't even be able to read the box. You know what I'm saying? But they would see what was on the box, and they would mimic what they believe their actions were. And then they would try to say that what that Hebrew child was doing was not conducive to the standard or the pattern of the box. We don't deal with patterns. We don't deal with patterns. We don't deal with the conformative. We are a peculiar people. Go ahead and look. Sister Betty's here. Sister Betty, I'll drop that. I will text you that link. So you can come in the chat and you can let us know. Because she sees that all the time. That is how our people's thought processes are. Look, when I was here in Florida, in preschool, they used to tie me down to a chair with a sweater. And my mom and dad would get mad. Why would they do that? Because I was not a child that conformed. Your son has ADHD. I said, no, I don't. Look, I just learn. I know what I'm doing. I do my thing, and that's it. Listen, my dad. If I drop the link, my dad will be on here talking about. Well, first of all, he said, "Hallelujah, thank you, Jesus. It's so good to be here. Hallelujah, amongst the saints." That's how my dad is. He will be on Covenant Awakenings, giving you the best Eurocentric. Eurocentric listen, y'all be saying hallelujah. It doesn't matter what your bloodline is. It all matters about what he paid on the cross. My dad will put it down thick. But we do that, man. My parents had my brother and I reading at the age of 3. We want to learn. We want to do. We want to see. And we do things outside of. I never look at, when I read the textbooks, I'm one of those type of people that read textbooks and I just have questions. Man, they don't like seeing my papers. Well, and I go on. Sister Shark says, I'm the ultimate swirler. That was my intro. Go ahead, Sister Shark. You're on mute, Sister Shaw.
Shalom, family. I just figured I'd hop on here in my capacity and support of Question Night Africa because it's a Q2UA discussion. Just to lend some support from the standpoint of making sure that we are not only safeguarding Question Night Africa, but also everybody who supports Question Night Africa with accurate and reliable information, guidance, and insight about our mission and in support of those who also have initiatives and movements that are parallel or in alignment with us, so that we're moving in an order that not only this organization can rely on, but our broader community can rely upon. So I am hopping on in support of that aspect, or my part of the wall, which is making sure that our people are getting the right information.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. All right. Well, Sister Shar is legal counsel for Quest Unite Africa. So I got to find out after the show what it was that I was stepping away from, what Mike and I were doing wrong. We'll get our after action, critique.
Oh, don't try it. Don't even try it. No, I'm actually, I'm
I'm
actually,
messing with you. I'm messing with you.
yeah,
Because
I know. But here's the
but when
thing.
we do get our critique, though, Mike will just be grunting and say, "Boy, I tell you, boy, are you
Hey,
serious?"
the thing is this: I'm actually responding to an elder in our
Mm-hmm.
community, because our people have always maintained respect for our elders, despite
Yes.
the dominant culture and the way that they don't treat their elders the way that our people have always treated our elders. I'm on here because an elder has spoken, and an elder has admonished this organization to make sure that we are sounding the alarm, that we are safeguarding the community, and that we are making sure that people are aware of the fact that you need to make sure your information is correct and validated, and that you're doing your due diligence out here. And so,
Mm-hmm.
in response to our elders' admonition, I'm hopping on here just to sound that alarm and to repeat that concern and that warning to our community. Make sure you are doing your due diligence.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. And that's what we always want to make sure. Look, first and foremost, we are a Quest Unite Africa. Quest Unite Africa is a nonprofit 501c3 seeking organization. What that truly means is, look, we have full disclosure, full transparency. We are now working to get the end of the year disclosures, excuse me, not disclosures, statements for folks that have given. We're working that right now. We brought on additional help to get that done. So that could be done. I believe it's the first week of February by law. So we're gonna get that done. Our intent is mid-January. You know how we do. We don't like to wait around for that deadline. Nope. We're gonna get that on out. Because that's the respect that we have for our people. We can't do this without our people's help, without our people's support. And on top of that, listen, that's the respect that we have for the Most High. Because we know that if the Most High is using and has put on the heart on this subject on one of our elders, and guess what? We respond. We respond in kind. We don't let anything go. No, 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 no. Not this organization. Because we have to be accountable to each other. That was the whole thing in this organization. I always wanted to make sure that there's accountability. I'm accountable literally to Michael and Sister Shar and the board.
Good morning. Yes.
It's gonna be 886.
Sister Shar is at her Starbucks, so I'll let her pay for her Starbucks. You can jump on in there. Make sure you get me that white chocolate mocha latte with almond milk. You can keep the whipped cream. No, you don't want to. Well, we're not doing Asia in this conversation. Not today. Not with what Mike and I had to hear. That's a story offline. Offline for real. For real. But but that's what we're doing. We come here, we're brainstorming, trying to figure out how best we can help this organization with this mission.
Yes.
And
And
just this week, and I'm gonna hand this on over to you, Sister Shaw, because I know where you're going with this. But just this week, we had all of this voluminous ideas. At least I did. They swirled me back into reality. And then it was like we had the most craziest brainstorm that the Most High had given us. Because it's like we want to do all this, we want to do all that, we want to provide and help with all these things. Yes, those are all great and noble processes, right? Endeavors. But then when Shar and I were looking and Mike were looking, these folks don't even know how to really send scanned faxes. These folks don't really know how to use, simple office procedures and matters that we take for granted. That's what we had to look at it. It's like, wait a second. The location that we're at, that can service this, and that could service the people of Tanzania, especially there in Dar es Salaam. And then we got our collective juices going. We came up with a brilliant business plan. We wrote down an executive summary, and it's like, man, yeah, this is perfect. We're just trying to now get some prices so then we can go ahead and present that to the board and to the leadership, and then present that on out to our family at large for how we need to move forward. Sister Shar, you can go and elaborate on that, because I know you have a lot more, that, because I don't want to just, me, I'm not trying to swirl.
When you said I was ordering my coffee, I thought I wasn't on mute. You weren't able to hear me at the window. I was like literally getting my coffee.
No, we heard the coffee, and then I muted you.
Oh, okay. I was like, I thought I was muted. I'm sorry. So
no, I got you. I got you.
So here's the thing, is that as we're watching the global events unfold, and those of us who are feeling led to begin to make moves towards and on the continent, we have to be so careful in our movement that we are verifying, questioning, and double checking any and all opportunities that may present themselves. Because one of the things that a lot of our people are very, very eager to accomplish with transitioning over to the continent is securing real estate. Mm-hmm. And it is extremely important for us to understand what opportunities and limitations exist when it comes to your ability as an individual or even as a business to purchase real estate, especially when you're doing so with the mindset that you want to have something to pass on to your children. And so from the vantage point of where Quest Unite Africa is situated, we want the community to be very careful about real estate transactions and exercise due diligence, and even double check with legal counsel on the continent We have a few attorneys that we can offer referral to. If you are looking at a real estate transaction, you have questions about it, you want to make sure you're understanding your rights, you want to make sure you're understanding exactly what you're getting. You want to know, is this a 99-year lease or will I own this? You want to know what type of guarantees and warranties attached to that land. You also want to make sure that there is a deed or a title search done the same way that we do here in the United States. That is the same process that takes place. At least I can speak to Tanzania. So I'm just sounding that alarm and that concern in response to an admonition from one of our elders out of love and concern that we are all exercising due diligence before we're making moves. Because even though the opportunities are extremely affordable compared to real estate opportunities here in the United States, that would raise the caution even more to make sure that you know exactly what you are investing in and what you will have in your hand at the end of that investment. So I just wanted to make sure that we're doing our part this morning as a part of the discussion to make that general announcement and admonition. Question Night Africa is working on putting together kind of like a town hall to have some people with the credibility from the continent to speak specifically to the legalities and the different options and opportunities that are out there, so that our people are operating with the best reliable information available.
Yes. Hallelujah. Thank you, Sister Sharp. Yeah, that's it's very unique to understand, the position that we're at, trying to buy things over across in another nation. And, listen, I look at it like this. The Most High is going to judge me if I give any bad information. And I've always been very, iffy on, like land, things of that nature. And the reason, and let me just try to tell you this. So the reason I am iffy on land and land purchases, so back in 2020, with our one Gentile person who was close to the community, he lived out in Tampa, and I was getting ready to work for him as a real estate agent. I was getting ready to work for him as a real estate agent. 2020, I literally had completed my real estate school, was getting ready to take the real estate test. But the Most High literally sent me to somewhere else. He sent me to do something else. And the funny thing is that when you become a realtor here in the state of Florida, you have like reciprocity of like real estate in like 20 or 30 other states. But, I understood, just from taking the test and the training and things of that nature. I didn't get licensed, but I was really one step away from getting my license, before the Most High had moved me on out there, out to other things. And, I look at that because real estate is a big deal. What you offer in real estate is a big deal. Because what we see for real estate, we see that as legacy. If I buy land, that legacy is to pass on that land to my children. So then my children, my children's children, my children's children. Look, my mom owns a home in Gainesville. And she's constantly talking to my brother and I about, well, when I pass on, this is something that you all could have, and yada, that's the legacy. And now think about that on the continent. And let me tell you this, they don't like to sell land. Because the crazy thing is that all the land is controlled by chiefs. Mike and I, when we went to the Tanzanian parliament, you have your parliamentary stuff, and then in the gallery, Mike, who was sitting in the gallery right in the middle there?
Nothing but chiefs.
Nothing but chiefs. Because you had your top chiefs, and then you have your
Mm-hmm.
sub chiefs, and you have your sub chiefs. Guess what those chiefs are responsible for? Land. You can put all
Mm-hmm.
the, you can have all of the laws and everything else in place, but let you not talk to that chief about what you're trying to do. Whatever you done plan, you might as well just pack it on up and look for another nation, another country.
Off the top.
And those chiefs have rights to those lands. Let me tell you this, in perpetuity. And guess what? When that tribal right of the chief gets passed down to their sons, guess what they do? They take all the land rights with them. So no, technically you do not own land in Africa unless that chief confers that land title, that land right onto to you. Same as what Abraham had when he was dealing with the Canaanites. They said, take the land. Abraham said, no, I want to pay this thing and have the contract. I'm not trying to have your word for it. I'm trying to have this contract. I want the contract to be written, to be signed. Yeah, we had this discussion yesterday for like 2 hours. And but that's the thing that we look at, because why? Because we know it's not just going to be Tanzania. It's not just going to be Rwanda. It's not just going to be Zambia or Malawi or Burundi or Uganda or Kenya or East Africa. This is going to be Africa in general. Yeah, Yakoba just taught on the birthright. Yep, it really does mean that. It's for real. And that's one of the things that we actually have to learn. Yeah, we're going back, and guess what? We're going to get our land back. We absolutely are. But see, in this day and this age, guess what? We're going to have to learn how to build with our brothers and sisters.
Off the top. And I think we're doing it already. I mean, if I just wish that you brothers and sisters can hear all the engineering thoughts when we say, hey, we need to get this, do this, do that, do this, and hey, this is a good business thing to do in Africa here, and things of that nature. I mean, if you only knew.
I had a literally a 15-minute swirl, because so
Mhm.
one of the things I wanted to do, and they had opened this up back in like 2015, 2016. I was getting ready to go. I wanted to be a foreign area officer. A foreign area officer was literally like being like a civil engineer, and being able to, like, do city planning and things of that nature, working with, the like local government, going in and doing some civil engineering, city planning, all of those functions, right? How to, where would you need to set up a hospital? Where would you need to set up, schools, you know, um, things of that nature, just on a, and ensuring that, security was maintained for economic growth, right? That's part of the state department function, but it's also a military function to ensure that, there's security, assigned to that. And there are projects that the Army Corps of Engineering would then, be able to do to help out with stabilizing that area. So part of the military folks just think that it's, all about blowing things up. Well, actually, there's a lot more in terms of area stabilizations, and, being able to return a country to, something that's workable, not something that's perfect, but something that's workable. And I've always had, an interest towards that. But at this level, I was swirling with Mike and the rest of the folks, and I said, well, what about a high capacity water pressure filter? Because here's the thing, they can't plumb, they can't pipe. Mike was just talking about that. Well, you have to pipe, you have to get that water out of the ground. Once that water gets out of the ground, it has to go into somewhere to get filtered. And I was trying to look at the dynamics, the specifications of what it is, to service here, service there, because when you do those type of planning functions, you that's how these places are able to kind of like grid or build out, with their city planning. So if you go to like, zoning and things of that nature and land development, well, part of that zoning and land development is you have to go to like either the county or some other official, so you can like propose the plans to them, and then that official will say, okay, yeah, you could do that, and then you have what you need to have to be able to ensure that the water is there, right? The piping is there, the substations are there for the water collection. At least that's here in the United States. That's what you have to do. That's part of the zoning, especially here in Florida, right? um, that's what I've learned. And on out there in Tanzania, they really don't have that. If you want something, you just kind of, get what you need to get and build how you need to build, and you're just kind of out on your own. They don't zone anything, they don't plan anything. There's city planning. I mean, they may say that they have a quote unquote city planner. They really don't. And those are the sort of things. It's like, I know folks are like, I need to go on over there and do this and do that. Well, you got to understand, they are wanting you to go over to help them to accomplish things, not to just sit on down and be like, hey, I'm living a good life. Can you help me hook up my cable? That's not really fair to them. I want you to show us how you got them to that standard without all the other craziness attached to it. I want you to show us, because trust and believe. You saw that video with the Caucasian male that said they're gonna have to fight in Africa. So you think that we're just gonna sit there and be like, "Oh, the Most High got us on out of here, and we're just honky dory, yada yada yada"? No, it's gonna be a time of building. Sorry, but we're gonna have to truly roll up our sleeves.
Hmm.
So, this is where the function goes, because let me tell you this, as you're helping them to develop, guess what they're going to do? They're going to hook you up with what you want, and that's land. It is very quid pro quo. It is very bartering. They have the resources, we have the knowledge. That's literally how we look at it. That's literally how they look at us. You help us, we're going to help you. How many times, like, Mike is like, man, I need to be out of here like yesterday. Mike will let you know he gets calls every day from folks on the continent, so he could go back on out there and put his mind to use, so he can start getting things moving. Mike is like, outside of this, Mike is the most itchy, antsiest person. He's like, Karis, I need to be back on this continent. Karis, I need to be up. I got to get up on out of here. Mike literally has about 10 projects on his plate all at once. And we're trying to get him over there to start moving on a few projects. We're talking about mining to farming
Hmm.
to literal IT application and farming to office applications to the list goes on. Mike has a couple different things, even telecommunications. But I think like at least 5 projects that he has in that. And I know a lot of us want to build processing plants. Think how much we can do. They have literally the human capital that's there, that's willing and able to work with us because they want to learn from us. They know how fair we treat them. Yeah, this is exactly what we need. Libraries, exactly. We get calls every day. We get emails every day. We'd love to have you. We'd love to have you. You realize the biggest challenge is just us getting on out there.
Yeah, that principality. Yeah.
That's it. That's it. So it's not the fact of what we haven't planned. We planned for a lot of things. We've understood a lot of the needs that are on out there. But we also understood, look, just because we plan for it, there are things that we have to do on a smaller scale in order to build up because they're still learning how to do things at a smaller scale. Even how we interact with our lawyer out there, it's on a smaller scale. We ask them, do you not have access to a scanner, printer, something? If we were to say, I would like to go on out there and have a hard copied presentation with a folder sheet, things we literally take for granted, that's embossed with our Q2UA logo, where would we have it? They would be looking at us like, I don't know. We have to order it from somewhere. And when they say that to order from somewhere, that somewhere is usually outside of Tanzania. These are the little gaps that we need to get on out there and do. And that's what we're doing. And that's just one piece of the puzzle. Because how are you going to address streets if you don't even have office or office supply to even print up a map showing the grid of these streets, to print up a map to show a grid of where you have your electrical, your transformers and other substations. You can bring all the equipment you want, but if you can't even plan with the basics, if you can't even print out blueprints, you don't even have the function to print out those maps, you're already dead in the water. That's literally the value that creates value that creates value. We're literally building from step one. And that's okay, because the more steps you build, guess what? The more accessibility and infrastructure you have for the next one coming over. Yeah, I recognize we need this in Matawa. I recognize that we need this in Dodoma. I recognize that we need this in Arusha. I recognize that we need this in the Tanganyika area. That's industry. Oh, we need to bring this on over to Rwanda. We need to bring this on over to Burundi. That's industry. This is how awesome the Most High is. To have us understand that's how we're building up. Brother Mike, final thoughts? You're on mute, Brother Mike. Let me tell you, you do a recycling business on out there, you guys gonna be pure gold. Like for real. You do a recycling, there are so many end products that come off of recycling, it's not even funny. It's not it's not colonial, because you have to understand a lot of our people, a lot of the people that are on the continent, when they show a propensity for knowledge in their school system, they get the scholarships, they go off to these schools and universities in Europe, and a majority of them don't come back. And when they do come back, it's kind of like how we have it, that written, that, or that underlying code, don't tell them this or don't tell them that. We've been amongst that. Mike and I were amongst that. Because it's not just brain drain, it's also, you have a lot of political structures that's there with the literal expressed intent of providing barriers to their own people so they're not able to win. So yeah, that's what we do. That's what we plan for. That's what we work on. Mike, go ahead, because you had fallen off. I know you're getting busy.
No, these are the things we've been working with for. How long it's been now? 8 months.
8 months.
8 months. We've been working with. But one thing I would say, it's like we thought we had to pull back a little bit a few months ago. But truthfully, when we go back and we look at it, no, we had literally sped up, because now we had an executive board that was running like a smooth engine.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody had an understanding. Everybody played their part, and everybody stayed in their position. That's one thing we have fought to do. But when you have a disorganized board, the whole organization will be in shambles. A divided household cannot stand. And so once we really sat down with the board and everybody started giving their ideas, I have never seen brothers and sisters put together all the things it takes to run this organization, and to go to Africa, say, hey, this would be a good business. This would be a good business. This would be a good business. Any investors here, there, all of this stuff, we have this stuff already lined up. This is all about execution now. And this is what this world is. I said, the principalities over there, yeah, it appears to be rough, but I think it's getting weak, because we're getting stronger. Our determination is stronger. Our zeal is getting stronger while they're getting weaker. And so we know what we want to do for our brothers. We know exactly what we want to do. And now we are becoming a thorn in that principality's spirit. We're becoming that thorn because Yah has given us that strength to endure. And that's what we're doing. And then this is the reason why Carrie's talking about donations. Y'all, those donations you talking about black eyes, swollen lips. Everybody in Q2UA can tell you, no, they got some battle scars because this is not no easy thing to do. It takes not one person, not two. Let's just say it takes a village. It takes a village to do this here, and the village is here. We doing this. We are doing this not for our benefit, but for the brothers and sisters here in South America, North America, wherever we are located at. That is Judah. This is who we're doing this verse for. And because we represent an Elohim of order. So we must be in order. We can't be selfish. I'm gonna do all this on my own. I don't think I want to do this. Yeah, we go see you. And some people have succeeded, but there was going to be a whole lot of scars that they're going to have. In essence, they could have avoided that by having a mentality of a family. And this is what Yah is teaching us. Become the family that He has always had planned for us. Mm-hmm. And we're working back to that. That's what we're working on. And I'll hand it back to you, Brother Karras.
All right. Thank you, Brother Mike. All right. Well, family, definitely appreciate you all supporting Q2UA Africa Discussions Live. I had to switch up the format today because let me just tell you this, family. We're doing a lot in the short amount of time that's actually been allotted for this for wherever we're at around the world. Doesn't mean that we can't accomplish things. It does, because when we're working under the Most High's direction, guess what He does? He allows us to do things. He's an Elohim of giving us witty inventions. He's an Elohim of making ways when there's been no way. That's how this thing works. So again, family, thank you for you all supporting Q2UA Africa. If you would like to support and you feel that the Most High is leading you to support this organization, please visit Q2Unite Africa.org. Please visit Q2UniteAfrica.org. And I'll have that there on the screen. Please also check out our shop, where we have many items, gifts, different paraphernalia that shows your support. And if you don't have the means, please support us via prayer. Support us via prayer. If you'd like to join us on our updates, that will be every Sunday. We have our monthly updates, first Sunday of the month. But yes, family, the continent is changing, because you want to know why? The world is changing. And that change is happening because the Most High is allowing His word to be fulfilled. So with that said, family, I return back to Covenant Awakenings on Monday. And from there, family, Most High willing, I'll be on. Hallelujah. But from there, family, shalom, salama, siemi, shalom. Peace and blessings. Yasharel.
Tuna wageni watatu, Mheshimiwa Sebastian Kapufi mbunge, ambao ni wadau wa maendeleo kutoka Marekani. Wadau wa maendeleo kutoka Marekani, karibuni sana.